Well, hey guys, it's Jennifer. Welcome back to the podcast. This is Monday Fire, episode number 60, the one where I get really vulnerable with you and share with you something that's kind of embarrassing, but also I think it's going to help somebody today. So, as many of you know, I started losing my hair. I don't know when exactly because it's kind of hard to pinpoint, but somewhere in the January, February time frame of the year. And then it was in March that coronavirus, hit the world and the world shut down. So I literally, in a couple of months' time, lost about half of my hair. If you don't know the story, you can go to my Instagram highlights. So go find me on Instagram, follow me there, and there's a highlight called hair loss. It talks about why I think I lost my hair, what I'm doing to get my hair to go back. It's looking a lot better. If you're watching me on YouTube right now, I'm not wearing a whole lot of hair extensions today, just two. So it's getting better. It's getting better. And so, but I got to tell you something that happened during that time. So I'm losing, half of my hair. It's very traumatic to all of you women who have suffered hair loss, like such big hugs to you. I had no idea how, the Bible talks about our hair being like our crown of glory, right? And so it just, it felt very vulnerable. Let me say that. And like, I was, beside myself. And so as I'm losing hair and then coronavirus hit, it was kind of like, okay, what on earth is happening to the freaking world right now? Like, the kids got sent home from school and I'm losing half of my hair. And I also have had some really weird physical ailments in the last, 6 months, 9 months or so. Weird things like TMJ, something called burning mouth syndrome, which I didn't even know was a thing. And so anyhow, I'm trying to like string together all the pieces, right? But the thing that was bothering me the worst was the hair loss. Well, let me tell you what I ended up doing during coronavirus. I found myself cutting my hair, you guys. Not once, not twice, but I know there was 3 times in particular before my husband's like, Jen, and my best friend was like, Jen, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know. I would literally like get out of the shower and because I was losing so much hair like close to my face, it looked like kind of a rat tail in the back, right? So I'd flip my hair upside down and I'd like whack off the rat tail. And then like next time, I did my hair, I was like whacking it off some more. And it was like this weird, like kind of sort of satisfying, but also like, what are you doing? And like in my mind, I knew like, why are you cutting your hair, Jen? You're losing half of it. You shouldn't be cutting any of it off, right? But it was kind of like, I just almost couldn't like help myself. It was really weird, you guys. It was really weird. And then I had a friend tell me, she's like, you're doing that because it's like the only thing you feel like you have control of. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, yes. Thank you for like putting words to like what I was feeling. Because in my head, logically, I'm thinking you've already lost half of your hair. Why would you cut any more of it off on purpose? And yet I found myself with my head upside down, trimming more of the ends off. I'm like, Jen, what are you doing? And when she said that, because you feel like life is out of control and it's one of the only things that you feel like you have control over right now, I was like, that's it exactly. And I was talking to her about, oh my gosh, like this is how women can like start veering in the direction of addictions or, start, so sorry, not corona, allergies. But this is how, I can see how women start doing things, that perhaps are hurtful to themselves because they feel like everything's out of control. Because here's the deal. There are a lot of us right now who feel like everything's out of control. Or maybe it's just me. Like, will the kids go back to school or will they not? Will we have school ping pong where they go, they come back, they go, they come back, they go, they come back? Is that what's going to happen? The world feels out of control in terms of, the coronavirus. And that feels like, is it ever going to end? Is it whatever? The world feels very out of control when it comes to politics. It just feels like a dumpster fire that we're watching, on the news and on the internet every day. And so it's easy, I think, right now to feel a sense of powerlessness, to have a lot of anxiety around the idea that I'm in so control of such little. Such little. Is it just me? Maybe it's just me. In addition, we're getting ready to send our oldest off to college next week. And so I'm feeling this sense of loss of control there. Like, okay, have we done enough? Have we taught him enough? Does Noah know enough about right and wrong? Will he, I'm like the things that go through a mother's head. Let me just tell you, like literally, he was 5 years old 10 minutes ago, and I don't even know how I'm sending this baby to college right now. And there's this feeling of, okay, he's been under our home for 18 years, under our guidance, under our stewardship. God entrusted him to us. And even though he's made a lot of his own decisions and he does a lot of his own things, and we still have Life 360 that we look at to make sure he's not dead in a ditch somewhere. We still have ways of tracking, kind of controlling sections of his life. And now that he's going to be living somewhere else, there's that feeling of giving up control over his life too. Now, listen, I've never considered myself to be a control freak. I need you to know that, first of all. I would never have grown my business to where my business is if I was a control freak. I mean that with all honesty. But I also want to say so much grace to you if you feel like that you kind of veer in the direction of being a control freak. But here's what I had an aha moment about this week that I wanted to share with somebody here that I know that this is going to be a blessing to. Instead of trying to control your kids or the election or the state of the world or whether or not you're going to get fired from your day job, like what could you focus on instead? Because listen, most of those things are at this point completely out of your control. Like, are there small things that you can do? Absolutely. Can you go vote 100%? Can I still talk to Noah and give him advice all the time? Of course. Like, I'm not talking about that. Okay. So don't send me an Instagram DM, screaming at me because there's things we need to do to be great citizens. I know, duh. But I'm just saying a lot of what we are wishing that we could control, we have pretty much very little control over. Really, we do. So I am trying to relook at my life and go, okay, cutting my own hair, that was not a good way to make me feel like I was in control of something. It wasn't a good way at all. And so what can I look at right now to try to take some control over? Because the truth is, a lot of us have let a lot of things go. In the last 6 months, we've lost some control over our finances, some control over our eating, some control over our exercise, simply because we've self-pacified. I know I have. I mean, I can't really suck my thumb in a corner anymore, but I can sure feel better when I order something on Facebook. Sure feel better when I eat, homemade banana bread again. Right. And so, but now there's like the ramifications of being out of control in a lot of those areas that are showing up for a lot of us. And so I wanted to give you kind of some things that maybe you could start focusing on this week that you could control. Okay. Just a short list. You figure out something on your own, but maybe this week you could do a better job of controlling your eating. And I'm putting that first because that's me. I got to get back on the no sugar kick. I just have to. Maybe you could do a better job of controlling how much you exercise, of how much you love on people, on how much time you put your phone down and pick people up. Maybe that's something that you could focus on this week. Could you focus on who you're going to spend your time with, how you're going to show up for people, whether it's in person or on the internet? You can control your prayer life. You can control how much you're getting into the Word of God. You can control what you're watching. You can turn off the TV and pick up a podcast. If you need a list of a couple that are good ones, send me an Instagram DM. I'll give you my absolute favorite. You tell me what you're looking for. Okay. But those are some things that are healthy things to try to control versus the world, our children, the things that we think we have some control over, but we really don't. I wanted to read to you a Bible scripture out of Matthew. It's in Matthew 11. I think I read it to you a couple weeks ago, so somebody needs to hear it again. It's, come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden. I'll give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Listen, if you are feeling heavy as heck it's like this heaviness because you feel powerless, and it's a heaviness because you feel anxious. Listen, there is very few things that we're actually in control of on this side of heaven. So I just am going to encourage you this week to think about the things you actually have some control over and to try to kind of re-embrace control in that area and give up trying to have any control in the rest of it. I hope that that really helps somebody this week. If so, would you send me an Instagram DM and just let me know, or screenshot this podcast and give me a shout out on your stories? I'd love to know. But I hope that this was like salve to your soul this week. And I just want you to know we're all going to make it. Okay. We're all going to make it. Bless you guys. Bye bye.